All right. Here's my critique of the game. I don't think I can give it a number score. Critique is DLC. Yeah, see you guys next stream for my critique. Gotta stop reading chat. You guys are distracting me. I don't think I can give it a numbered score. However, I will say this up front, and then I'll give you an explanation. Okay? Just so there's no misinterpretation, and also so I don't just bait you guys over and over again, because that's something I have fun doing. I'll buy it. I think this game in what it I think in what this game did or maybe tried to do, it's irreplaceable. I think this was I think this game had a really, really, really good story. And even though it wasn't a pleasant story, it was a difficult story. Like it wasn't a story that I really super enjoyed or anything. I think it was a really, really good story. Um, I think it was really, really good. And I'll talk about the story a bit after. I'm gonna start off with the negative critiques of this. So the negative critiques, the negative points that I can make for sure, and this is what I didn't like about the game, was there was too much gameplay and it was really awkwardly paced gameplay. Um, it's almost like they didn't have enough time or they needed another year or something to figure it out. There were so many enemies in certain places, and compared to The Last of Us 1, where everything felt pretty concise, paced very well, and good, this felt more like an Uncharted game. And I've played Uncharted 1 and 2, so I don't know the other ones. But those games felt like they just throw enemies at you over and over and over and over again. And this started to feel like this in a few sections. It wasn't super bad, but it was like it made not killing enemies very fun or rewarding, or it wasn't there wasn't a puzzle aspect to stealthing things. It was just kind of like, yeah, okay, here's a bunch of fucking things, right? Hey, Rap Dad, thanks for the 31 months. Um, I didn't really like that part. Like, I think that part could have definitely been improved and definitely been polished for sure. Like the gameplay itself could have that would have improved so much. So if they just took another couple months, a year to change some of the pacing, some of the enemies and stuff like that. Like there were instances where clickers were running after me and hunters were running after me, and it's like it doesn't even make sense. Like just small details like that they could have easily fixed. And I know that they're like it wasn't like they're being sloppy. I really think they just ran out of time. I think would have been like great. That would have made the game much more pleasant to play. That's one of the reasons I probably will not play this game for a second time. Because there's just the gameplay itself didn't feel as good as Last of Us 1. And there it felt like there was too much gameplay. It was a much longer game, which was good in a way, but it was also like I would rather just see story and stuff than, kill 50 fucking clickers. Worth the money? Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was. But I play games for different reasons, and I value games for different reasons than most people do. So you can't use that as a critique. So that was one of the bad things. Yeah, it dragged on in a few places, which was like, you know, I think that could have been done better. Like objectively, I think that could have done better. I don't think that there are many people who were like, "Oh God, I love that I get to shoot this guy in the head for the 30th time with all this ammo that I have." And then the stealth aspects kind of ran low, and the game kind of turned into an action game, especially in the last part when they all have fucking helmets on. I don't know why they had helmets on. It's for the gameplay, of course, but it's like, they're slavers. They're not worried about other people shooting them, right? So it's like gameplay. I felt should have been better. That could have been improved. Secondly, the story. The story. So I'll get into a negative critique of it. Was the pacing was also a little bit awkward, a little bit. But I think with the story overall, they did what they wanted to do. Like the first part with Ellie, where she just kind of like runs here, kills this person, and then you have a big running section, then she kills that person, then big running section, then she kills that person. Like that was like almost not good. And then the last part almost felt a little bit rushed. It was cool, but it's like if that was drawn out more or there were more story segments there, I think the game could have used a couple more months to a year of polish, and it would have been like I wouldn't have been able to really complain about very much. Now, as for the story itself, I don't like it. Like I don't like it, but I think it's very good. Right? I really don't like it, but I think it's very good. I didn't want Joel to die. Joel is my favorite character. He's just a really, really good character. And he's just really good. I never disliked Joel ever. And he dies right off the bat. And that made me pretty sad. And it's like he's gone. So it's like he's not coming back. He's gone. Right? So Joel's just gone. And I don't like Abby. So by the end of the game, I still don't like Abby. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like I'm pretty set on like, okay, like I don't like Abby. For one, she killed Joel. Two, it's like Mel said, she was a shitty person and she brought destruction upon all her friends. And three, I didn't like a lot of things about her. She does have a lot of redeeming qualities for sure. But I didn't like Abby. So playing as her, or what's it called? Experiencing her friends. Like I didn't like any of her friends either. Wasn't It wasn't like, oh, like this is so fun or anything. It was like it was useful in that I got to know them and understand them, and it fleshed things out a bit, but it didn't really change too much for me, right? I still really liked Ellie, and Dina was okay. Jesse I liked, but he got shot in the face. Tommy I liked, and I can understand his decision to pursue Ellie to go after Joel, or push Ellie to go after Joel. In terms of the story itself and what I've been reading in the comments a few times, I can understand Abby's motivation to go seek out and kill Joel. I don't agree with it, especially since she went and she sought out Joel, tortured and killed him. Didn't like that. It's one of the reasons why I really don't like Abby. And then from there, like she got her revenge. Things didn't really get better for her. She was still really shitty. And then all her friends died, and things were shitty. And then she saved Lev and Yara. Yara gets fucked up, by the way. I feel so bad for Yara. Yara like has it the worst in the game. And then escapes with Lev. So there's a few things where they could have developed Abby and Lev more, because it didn't seem she was actually that close to Lev, right? But like enough to just, well, Lev's all she has left because everybody's dead, I guess. But it's like a little bit like, okay, like maybe a little bit more bonding between Abby and Lev. But I didn't really care too much about Abby or Lev. Lev was like whatever for me as well. And so they just do whatever. So Abby got her revenge and then moved on. And it kind of shows too that, like, I think the whole idea was that Abby is, capable of good things and capable of saving people and stuff like that. And she also let Ellie go for the second time when she didn't have to, which kind of indicates that she just wants to, live a nice life now, and not like a nice comfy life. It's like, okay, she's changed. It seems like, right? It seems like she's changed, and you could even see that in the story, like over the course of the story, as a bit of redemption, which kind of says that, hey, this is interesting because of this time right now. Like, you look at Twitter, you look at all the social media, the idea that someone might have done something absolutely terrible and horrible and really, really bad, like Abby did, but they still are not beyond redemption. Shut up, senor. And that was a nice idea that they communicated, because it's like no one wanted Joel to die. She killed Joel. Everybody's like, hey, fuck Abby, right? But at the same time, even at the end, Ellie's like, okay, like, yeah, you can live, right? You can live. So that was an interesting idea, and I think that's valuable. I've never seen that anywhere else. I've never seen. Well, let me go into Ellie next. So then Ellie, the whole Ellie story was really good because it's like over the course of the game, she deals with, through flashbacks, the realization or the finding out that, the whole Firefly ordeal. And then she forgives Joel right away, which you find out at the end, which was also very nice. Um, but there's that. And then the whole revenge quest, which is pretty standard. You see this everywhere. Like, if you keep pursuing revenge, you're going to end up with nothing and worse off. But it also is like, but you're still probably going to do it anyway, right? You're still going to probably pursue revenge. When she was in the farm safe with Dina and little shit baby, and everything was okay, like, that kind of shows like how potent that feeling of revenge is, where it's like she threw away everything to go get it. And then even though she took damage, lost fingers, and then opted out of it, like, she was like, no, this isn't good, she still lost all of that. Like, that's how bad revenge can be. And even knowing that people will still pursue it. So it's like, that was a pretty cool concept to convey as well. I've never seen any concept, any game convey that. So that was really, really well done. Um, and then the overall, like, the ending where it's like, yeah, Ellie remembers Joel. She can't play guitar anymore. Like, she took damage from Abby. Like, that, the two fingers being missing at the end from Abby was very intentional, for the guitar, right? And it's like, that's the whole idea of like, she's lost that part of herself too. So that was, I think it was all really, really, that all the story was really well done. I think it was really, really, really well done. And then Abby and Lev escape, and no one care. I don't care about Abby and Lev, whatever. And the way the game ends, it's just like Abby's like a shell of herself. She's emancipated, lost all her muscle, you know, hair's gone, looks completely different. I don't think you're meant to wonder what's happening with Abby and Lev or anything like that. I think it's more about Ellie, and it's like Ellie's quest for revenge is done, and now she emaciated. Sorry, not emancipated. My bad. Might be, yeah, wrong word. Sorry. She's done, and she can finally move on. So I hope she finds Dina and JJ. Although I don't know if she will, but I think that was a really, really good way I think they did a really good job. Like a really good job on the story itself. I don't like it. I wish they didn't kill Joel. I wish Joel didn't have to die. I wish the game was a nice and touching game about Ellie and Joel's relationship or something where Joel lived. But this game was really, really good. And I have to say, I respect them. If this is the case, if they made the game they wanted to make rather than the game that they thought would get the best reaction, if that's the case, then I would say then I have to give them as much, like, a lot of respect. That's a ton of respect, right? If that's how things went down, right? Because it's a really cool thing to have someone or a team of people have a creative vision and then flesh it out regardless of what the results are. And I think that's where things that are really, really meaningful and impactful come from as well. Not what people want you to make, but what you yourself want to make. So I think they did a really good job with the story, and I think that I will have faith with Naughty Dog and continue to trust them because they did a really good job with all the things that I would consider are important, and they clearly put a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort, and not just enough, like, let's say, Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or games that just turn out product, but I think they actually went above and beyond to try and make something that they could really be proud of. And I think I saw Troy Baker say this as well. He's like, he's very proud of the game that he was a part of. And so with those things in like those boxes checked, which rarely ever those boxes are rarely ever checked. With those things checked, whatever flaws the game has, I can say they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's like, whatever. It's like you might have a more fun game or a game that's more enjoyable or more happy or whatever. But value-wise, they don't come close to this game. And I don't think there's a game that will be able to ever replace this game in terms of what its uniqueness in in the story it told, right? You might have similar stories, but I don't think they'll ever be as impactful or as whatever. So, and I agree with all the character decisions and stuff like that. I didn't see anything that was really out of line, except it was kind of weird a few times in terms of like strength and fighting power, where this person would get fucked up or that person would get fucked up, but those were very minor. I think everything seemed to make pretty good sense, right? JJ's Revenge. Killing the dogs were too far? I don't think so. That's realistic. Like, everything they did was fairly realistic. It's like, hey, they're gonna have dogs. Dogs are gonna attack you. What are you gonna do? Just, not kill them? No, you kind of have to. Oh, just don't put it in the game? Well, then you sacrifice realism. It's like, I don't think so.
Glad to see you moving again. Hope you are feeling better, BB.
Thanks, Ben Rice. Yeah, I just have a few stomach cramps, but I'm okay now. Go follow Ben Rice. He has food opinions. Brings you to hate this game? I don't hate this game. It's not... Well, here's something that I see in a lot of people that I think is... Do you want a part 3? I don't think... If I have just whatever Naughty Dog wants. I don't care. If they give me a part 3, cool. If they don't, then they don't. It's up to them. It's at this point, it's like I will trust them with whatever. Right? Hi, Secret Berserker. Thanks. But would you play it again? No, it was not. It's not. It's rough, right? I don't want to see Joel die again. I don't want to, you know, watch Yara's arm get broken again. I don't want to watch her die. I don't want to experience Owen or what's it called, Mel again. I don't want to watch Jesse get shot in the face. Like, those are all things I don't like. So do I want to play it again? Not really. But does that mean I don't think it's a good game? No. Right? So I'm saying it's a really good game, but a bad The Last of Us 2. Would you agree? No, I wouldn't agree. I don't want to skip cutscenes because the gameplay for me is like whatever, and I'm not very good at it. But it's how can I say this? So here's something that is very common amongst people that I don't agree with, and it's very clear in how I conduct my own and how I dictate my own actions, what I like, what I don't like, and also what I see other people like and not like, and how they conduct their actions. Is people often, very often, operate on the basis of likes and dislikes. So it's like, I like this, okay, I'm going to do it. I like this mobile game, I'm playing it, okay, I'm going to play it. I like this Gatorade, I'm going to drink it, okay. I don't like puzzles, I'm not going to play them. I don't like fucking, I don't know, rollerblades, I'm not going to wear them. I don't like skateboards, I'm not going to skateboard. It's like, okay, that's fair to an extent, right? The likes and dislikes, preferences, right? But what people don't realize is that preferences aren't everything, right? And preferences also don't dictate whether something is good for you or bad for you necessarily, or if something is in your best interest or not, or if something's valuable or not, right? That's a very important thing. Preferences don't dictate that. And a lot of people are saying things like this are not good because they don't fall within their preferences. And I think that's fairly irresponsible. I can understand not liking this game or parts of this game or a lot of this game, because there's parts of this game I really don't like. I don't like a bunch of things. Like, I don't like any of Abby's friends. I don't like them. I didn't like playing as them. I didn't like a lot of it. But as one piece of a greater whole, it was necessary. It's like it almost feels like I'm not supposed to like them. They're all fucking shit. It's like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Like, they're kind of likable, but they're kind of all shit too. So it's, you can not like something and it still be good, right? You can not like something and it can still benefit you, right? And I think on that basis alone, the large majority of the negative reviews for this game would be gone, right? So that's my what's it called? That would be my critique. It's that this game is very, very good. I appreciate and respect what they did and tried to do. This game does have flaws, and there are very difficult parts to this game in terms of both gameplay and story. Gameplay flaws, I think, could have been improved. That's one complaint. As for the story flaws, even though I wouldn't call them flaws. Even though I didn't like parts of the story, I think overall it served to tell a really, really good story. If that makes sense. The leaks? I don't know who leaked it. So you agree it's not a masterpiece? No, you have to define masterpiece. I'm talking about the game right now, Stephanie. You don't want to hear this. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, that was my review. I can answer.